Hi everyone. So let's get back to the session where we have to install the Tomcat into Azure VM and deploy that Var file into the Tomcat server. So to do this, first thing which we need is the to install the Tomcat, we need the shell script. So let's because we don't wanted it to be installed in manually. So we would actually go with using a custom script extension, but end of the day, the custom script extension will do what is there in the script. So as we are going and running that script in a VM, Linux VM, so we are using a shell script for it. So build a shell script. So let me explain the shell script. So here to run the Tomcat, we need Java. So we are installing the Java and we're checking the Java version. We no need to do that because by default it will be accepting it. So in case you can keep conditions and to ensure just like a try catch blocks if there is a Java version. So okay, or otherwise go and restart it. So we are creating a Tomcat group and then we are creating a Tomcat user with this is as the home directory. So I mentioned the comments to make you understand about it. Then I'm actually copying the latest Tomcat 8 package. Then I'm extracting the Tomcat. Now if you see, I am making changes to the tomcat.service. I'm creating a file tomcat.service and what is important is we need to ensure that the Java home is environment has been set up. So from with this command, we would be able to know what is the latest Java uh, and which has been installed and what is the home folder. You can actually copy after with the result you can get it. You can actually copy that and paste it here. Then the other thing is we can actually change these parameters. This is nothing but based on the RAM and everything. So what is the minimum and what is the max? So 512 and 1024 is something which you can change it if your server core is and memory is higher. Then I'm just starting the Tomcat, enabling the Tomcat even when there is a restart happens. And here, if you see, I am even installing the Var file. So normally what happens is the Var file will be built from the CD pipelines. Okay. So there would be a code and that would be after doing the unit testing, functional testing, and then the build, it will generate a build Var file. The Maven will be generating a Var file from the pom.xml. So if you see the goal as package, now in the pom.xml we can actually there will be mentioning about packaging, what type it should be, var file, and then that var file would be copied from the copy to files, and then it will be pushed into the artifact location. Certain times, even there will be if they are using self-hosted agents, they would be pushing it to the file share, and from file share we can access that wire file. But here I am trying to take a var file which is uh, a sample one in Tomcat. So you'll get var file directly. But in case if you are seeing what does it, it is this is a sample application from the once the var file is being installed into this Tomcat, this is what has to be shown up in the web page. So I use that link, I copied that link and I pasted here, and that sample file uh, will be deployed into this Tomcat web apps. But in case your var file, you have to push that var file into this Tomcat web apps. Mm, So either you need to actually add, if you're taking it from file share, you ensure that this VM is actually able to uh, connect to that file share, and then you can actually from that file share you can just do the copy uh, of that var file. That works. And then I'm just starting this Tomcat server. I stopped it initially once the web app is being loaded with the var file, then I'm just starting the Tomcat and this is good to go. So this will actually ensures that before this installing the Tomcat and install deploying the var file into Tomcat is happening. But there are certain things we have to collaborate this into the Azure DevOps pipeline. So we have the rest of the another some 15 minutes to get that happen. So we have built a shell script. I just explained it right now. I ensuring that the shell script is inside this local repository. So if you see, so I just added that script here. Now I will do a git add. Then I would actually do a commit. So create the tasks, then I will push the repository. So here there is, we would also like to copy the, we also like to copy the install hyphen tomcat shell script. So I'm copying it, pasting it here. This is good. Let me save it. Added shell script. Then we go inside the release pipeline. So I edited the tasks, modified the tasks in build pipeline. Now I have to do it in release pipeline. As I said previously, once I get the task in the release pipeline, the once the shell script is in the artifacts, we would like to ensure that this Azure file copy task will actually copy the files from Azure blob storage to the Azure blob storage. So here the source is, so we haven't yet got that. Let me disable it. Let me push it because I would like to connect that to, I would like to connect that to the release pipeline. So whatever the artifacts which are once this file is been pushed, the build pipeline will actually push that .sh file to the artifacts, and from there the release pipeline can actually pick it up. So here we go. We we pushed it. Now if you see, we would be able to see Tomcat sh here, and the build pipeline would have been triggered. The agent has to be assigned here. The agent is being assigned and it has copied the three files, the JSON parameter, the JSON template, and the shell script. And that has been, these three files are being uploaded into the artifact drop location. Now here, when we are trying to edit the tasks, let me enable it right now. And when I actually go to the source and go to the drop location, I would be able to see the Tomcat sh. Now this shell script, I would like to push it to the storage account, and from there the custom extension script would be executed without logging into the VM. So we created a storage account in the free trial. and the destination is Azure Blob here, and the storage account is something which we need to get it from the output. So the ARM template output, the ARM template, the output is storage account name. So I'll actually paste that here, and the container name would be demo. So here if you see there's an issue with this. We need to go with task version 2, as I have executed, and I know there is an issue with task 4. We have to use Azure file copy with 2, and when you go with that, this is the default which is suggested value option arguments, and we don't need the storage container URI or the SAS token. Once this is done, this file will be copied. But the problem here is we would not be able to directly get the output of the ARM template. For that, we need to actually run a PowerShell script to filter the JSON which we received from the output of ARM template. So here we would actually run an inline script. Let me talk about that PowerShell script which I have kept it here. So what it is just doing, it is just taking so here I'm passing the ARM output, and once that has been passed, it will convert from the JSON, and it will take the each value, and that will be made as the standard pipeline variable. This is a pretty simple script. Uh, so I'm just copying it everything here, and I'll be pasting in this inline script. So once this is done, I would also then once the file has been copied into the storage account, the shell script, then I have to run the uh, custom script extension. Now here we go. This is the script for the custom script extension. So first thing which I'm doing is from the output. If you see the output of the this one, I am actually taking the VM name. I'm using the VM name. Then I have to take the resource group name. So I'll be passing that resource group name from the variable. So I'll add a variable here, and I'll actually mention the resource group name, which is demo rg01. The variable is actually saved. Now from there it will take the resource group name demo rg, and we have the storage account name, which is again will be from the output of ARM template. Then we have the RG location, even that is the output of this ARM template. Once this is done, I'll take the storage account details with the available variables which we have. Once that is done, the step 1 is done. We take the context of it. Then the step 2 is actually getting the storage account key. So here we got the storage key. Once that is done, we will actually get the details of the storage blob. So the storage blob is nothing but the script name. Now if you remember, this install.tomcat.sh install-tomcat.sh will be in the storage account container. So I'll get the details, and that I'm passing here. So end of the day, what has to be executed? That file has to be copied, and that has to be executed. So to execute a shell file, this is the command sh space the file script name, this shell script name, and that will execute this all these commands where it is installing the Tomcat and it is changing the tomcat.service file, and from there it is downloading the var file, and that is being directly downloaded into the web apps. So once this is done, we would be able to go inside the public IP, and we should be able to get the web page, the sample Tomcat web page here once we type it. So as of now, if once I type it, we are not seeing anything yet because there is nothing been there's not the Tomcat is not yet been hosted it. So this is a script. This is an Azure PowerShell script. So this one we'll actually have to keep it in the Azure release pipeline. So the task is Azure PowerShell. So run the PowerShell script in an Azure environment. So here I'll select the subscription. I just copied that entire script and pasted here. I'm okay with the latest PowerShell installation, Azure PowerShell installation, and I'm just cross-checking everything is good to go or not. So when you need certain times the storage URL in SAS token, you can take it from here. But anyways, I'm using Azure PowerShell and I'm getting those things. So there is no need of me taking those variables from here. So I'm saving this. So let me create a release. I already have the latest artifact. So I'm just creating a release. So the agent has been assigned. It is downloading the artifact. Now there is an ARM template deployment is happening. So even all these things are uh, being deployed. It is there you would not be facing any error. The reason is because ARM template is idempotent. It is working on achieving the desired state configuration. So it would not be throwing any error. It in the same resource group, it will just do an incremental deployment. So if you see the ARM template deployment is successful. Now what is happening is it taking the ARM template variable, the outputs, and pushing it as a pipeline variables here. Now after this, the shell script has been copied into the Azure storage account into an Azure blob. So if you see, successfully been uploaded into the container, which we named as demo container. We would be validating once that is done. So this would take definitely a time. So that one of the reason why I mentioned in the script, the step one, step two, step three is one of the reasons. That is the reason where we would be understanding what is happening. So if you see the script, we are almost in step five, where it is going and executing the shell script extension. So it would definitely take certain 2-3 minutes. Meanwhile, let's see. We need to build a storage account, create a storage account, and that we have initially itself created from the ARM template. Then we built the shell script, and then we pushed it into upload that into the repository. So we have done that. Then we have modified the tasks in build pipeline. What are the tasks which have been modified in the task pipeline? I have modified the copy file task to copy the shell script. So this is done. Now then we modified the release pipeline. Let's see whether it is done. So still it is being executed because it has to install Tomcat in that, and then it has to install the var file in that. So in release pipeline, we have brought three tasks, particularly after the ARM template, we wanted the ARM output uh, to be converted into pipeline variables. So we used PowerShell task for it, and that here is that out script. You can find that entire scripts in this Git repository. You can go and clone that or fork it, and you can get that repo. This one, the script. Then we have used Azure file copy to copy the shell script from artifact to storage account. And then we have used Azure PowerShell script to go and go inside that container and take that file and execute that file as a custom script extension in Azure VM. So, so I have tried explaining this things in separate videos in the channel. You can go and refer in. As we can't go and drag this video. That's the reason why I'm cutting short and I'm explaining it. So I created an Azure file script, Azure task here to execute the custom script extension inside Azure VM, where in the shell script is deploying the var file. In this example, we are actually just copying the var file from here. Otherwise, you have to take it from a file share or through Artifactory, whatever you are actually using. Okay, so I'm using the shell script to in deploying the var file. So this is done, and this is done. This is done. So let's go and see it is successfully completed. Now, if you go and check uh, this one, let's go and now if you see the Tomcat is in fact running, but to go inside that particular application, we have to use this. So, so there we go. The Tomcat has been successfully, the var file is successfully been deployed into this Tomcat server. We can also validate going inside the storage account. And if you can go inside the containers, you would be seeing the demo container where you would be finding the shell script. This is how I was able to break down the entire this one. So these steps were actually been designed based on assumption of that this is how I'll proceed, but in real time, there would be many changes in your the way you guys actually do this particular task because might the var file would be in your in the would be as I mentioned it might be in the file share or in the artifacts itself and or there would be also changes that you would not be doing any ARM template deployment. And even if you are, guys are doing ARM template deployment, it might not be just one single VM, it might be of multiple VMs. And even we do that, it is not, might not be it might not have the public IP address, it might be connected to load balancer or an application gateway or traffic manager. So we have to ensure that all the setup is being done and then we can go and install that, deploy that var files. Typically the var file would deploying into the would happen into the app service. That's pretty much easier at this point of time, seeing if you can see the complexity of things, but it's based on the business requirement and the project requirement, whether you guys would be planning an Azure App Service or a VM. Uh, but this is how we go. So please subscribe to my channel, and you can always request for videos, and I'll see if I can come up with a video on that in next 1 to 2 weeks. Thank you.